Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 15 of the Garden Groove podcast. Unfortunately, this week Jackson was sick, so he wasn't able to make the episode. So you guys are stuck with me. But I was unbelievably fortunate to talk to Carl Wockner, who is our guest today. He is a live looper here in Nashville, Tennessee, and in the episode, he breaks down his pedal board so you can see how he's doing the live looping, how he's mixing it on the spot. Usually, like if we have a band in here, like when we had Gears on, Jackson mixed all of those songs. It was all recorded here at Garden Groove because that's what we do is record. And Jackson mixed all that. But for this episode, Carl's mixing everything on the spot. So all Jackson had to do was master, which is pretty amazing on Carl's part. But yeah, so we break down his whole pedal board and his mixing rig and his in-ear rig, and he's going to play 4 songs at the end of the episode, which absolutely stick around for that because it's mesmerizing to see him combine his great vocal skills with fluidity on guitar and great understanding of percussion and combines it all into this cool live looping thing that he does. But yeah, not only is he a great musician, but he genuinely is a great guy, and it was a pleasure to be able to sit down with him in here and just talk to him for a few hours. So yeah, without further ado, here's Carl Wockner. Me and Jackson, the co-host, we always think the future is going to move towards all microphones are Bluetooth. You're going to go into a studio one day. Yeah. There's no cables. And like, have you seen, there's an Instagram ad out right now where the microphone, it's like a little square. It's a 1-inch cube.
Oh, are you
square.
talking about the Rode?
Is it Rode? I thought it was someone else.
Rode have them, and then Shure have them as well. They're brand new. They're like a little Bluetooth one.
Yeah.
I got the Rode ones.
Do you really?
The Rode something 2. Go. The Rode Go.
Yeah.
Go 2, I think. Whatever.
But it's Bluetooth and it clips onto anything. And I think it hooks up to your phone, and you can hook up like 8 different ones of those to your phone.
They're fantastic.
That's the future.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to get, there's that one microphone company that makes a microphone and then it can mimic any other microphone.
Oh, are you talking about the Slate?
It's the Slate one.
Yeah.
It's going to be that, and you can mimic a 414. You can mimic whatever you want to mimic.
A U87, a $5,000 microphone for a $79
we got a plug-in
pack of
for
6.
It.
Yeah.
And then hook up your phone.
Yeah.
And it's all going to record in there.
The thing that I think we'll really struggle getting away from is there's a certain thing with cable. There's a certain perfection in like the quality of it of cable and like immediacy. Like with Bluetooth, like something that drives me crazy if I'm editing a video, the audio and the video are slightly out of sync.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
right?
But it's hard
Drives
to
me
tell
insane.
at a certain point. Like if you're doing the editing, because I do the editing for the podcast.
Yeah.
And like I'll sync up perfectly.
Yeah.
I'll sync up the voice to the microphones, and I'm like, is it on? Because then you can start to play like mind games. Like, is it actually on? And
it's like I deliberately set it like a little early because I know that by the time I bounce it and upload it for no reason, I don't even know what the reason is. But whenever I upload it to TikTok, it's always the audio's late.
Yeah,
every time,
totally.
Almost every time. It drives me crazy. It actually drives me crazy.
Is it a weird TikTok thing?
Nah. It happens on almost every platform.
Okay, so it's a you thing.
But then, like, if you go and edit, like, if you trim the start of your video, then the audio and video don't line up again. Even though they're
weird.
attached to each other. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We have to talk about something else. Just like right now, at least to just ease into it.
You're gonna get too triggered.
Yeah.
Jackson usually does it, but. The podcast has probably already started at this point.
I think we're started. We're on.
We're already on. But welcome to Garden Group Podcast number 15. I'm announcing today, and I got the number right because Jackson usually gets it one behind. So if I was Jackson, it'd be number 14. But Jackson's he's out sick today. He called me a little bit before, and he's feeling pretty violently ill, so he's not in. But today we got Carl on, and me being a admirer of the live looping scene. When I first moved to Nashville, I was looking for people that are doing the live looping thing and doing it well. And I reached out to my buddy Connor Gaylert, who maybe you know Connor Gaylert.
The name's really familiar.
He's around a lot.
Yeah.
Fantastic guitar player from Berkeley. And he gave me a list of people, and you were on that list. Some other people that I'm actually not going to be able to think the name of. But you're on that list of like live loopers.
Thanks, Connor.
Around here.
What a great guy.
But yeah, there's not a lot of people doing this live looping situation that you're doing, and I really admire it. Because not only do you have to master an instrument and vocals on top of it, but you have to master this like gear side of things that is really tricky to figure out. But stoked to have you on.
Thanks, man.
Glad you're here.
Thanks, brother.
Glad you helped me set everything up.
Yeah. Hey, look, you're one man down. It's the least I could do.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool that you said that about, and thank you for the kind words, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, people don't validate like the importance of good audio, or even just clean audio. You know, like they, there's so many things we were joking around earlier, and I was just saying about how in Australia, kind of a rite of passage of a musician is, you know, if you start in a bar or if you start playing dive bar covers gigs,
right.
you have to set up your own PA system. Like that's just what you do. And so now, you know, people default to the cheapest, easiest one that they can get, you know, and it says a lot about an artist, whether they go down the cheap line or if they go the quality. And I'd rather spend an extra 20 minutes setting that up to make sure it sounds right. You know, it says a lot about a person. But
yeah, it totally does.
What people don't understand is like the audio chain doesn't have to be difficult. People make it way overcomplicated. Like if you get a good quality signal and if you send it and if you really try to not boost it through the chain, like depending on how many pedals you plug and stuff, if you just try and keep it at that level, but adjust, you know, micro adjustments and stuff, you know, things can get out of hand if you don't.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you just want to dive into it?
Let's just go, man.
For me, with the live looping thing, most of what I do is automating through Ableton.
Oh, mad. Yeah.
So you can't do that live, right? I mean, you can, but it's not. It's too.
Yeah. You have to be deliberate in it. You can cue things live.
You can't mess anything up.
But exactly.
So how'd you start? Like, what was your first live looping setup?
So
were you just looping guitar or?
Yeah, it was just guitar. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was mostly just guitar. I started, I figured out it was like 15 years ago. And the only reason I know that is because we could talk about this too. Like I did a recent thing with Sheeran loopers, like Ed Sheeran just put out a new looper.
Oh, did
and
you?
I'm they're great. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. But his team hit me up to be like the guy that does all of that to help him roll it out, which is amazing.
When was that?
But all that was like end of last year, but they only just dropped the loopers.
No
but
shit.
in the whole vocabulary of that, Ed was like, I've been looping for 14 years. And I mean, that's when he first got his hands on a looper. He's been looping for 14 years. And I'm like, I've always said that I've been looping for longer than Ed. And I actually calculated it, and it's been 15 years. And it's like, I'm only like one. But don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, Ed is probably... it is underrated, I think, in terms of like, you know, people think he was an overnight success, but like everybody that is still around after they've had their success, you know, you realize it's so much deeper than that. Like, you know, he'd probably been looping like 7 or 8 years before even, you know, his first record came out, and people think he just like picked it up. But
well, a lot of people don't even know he loops.
So many people,
I would bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people still like it's so new, even though it's not, dude. It's been around. Like people don't realize it's been around like for like 40 years. Like there's people been doing it for a long time. But to answer your question, like I started 15 years ago. one more than Ed.
It's a good T-shirt right there.
That's right.
One more than Ed.
One more than Ed. I started 15 years ago, and the first looper that I ever used was a Digitech Jam Man. And if anybody's familiar with like the Boss RC30 or RC20, they're just like a small, like 2-button, 2-foot switch looper. Yeah. It's like stop, start, record kind of thing, and then the right one is start, record, overdub, play, and then the right pedal is stop. So I started with that. I borrowed my bass player's looper for like a month, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. And I bought my own exact same one that he had.
Yeah.
But the reason that I loved it was because at the time I was playing in Australia. I was doing a lot of random shows. So some were big, some were tiny, you know, festivals and whatever. But I'd be playing like any of my real gigs was in the band. We would be playing, you know, I had a 5-piece band, and it was keys, vocals, guitar, bass, drums. We all had harmonies. It was all like, it was fantastic. We didn't do tracks. You know, we were just trying to get as big a sound as we could with just the 5 of us, and we killed it. I love that band so much, and so we played that. But any of my non-legit gigs, which were like dive bar stuff or just, you know, country pub or beer garden or whatever, was my solo stuff. And before I started looping, I kind of started doing the one-man band thing, and that was with like a stomp box or like a kick pedal. I even used a kick drum. I even used a kick drum for a while, and a tambourine, and like played lap steel, and you know, sat down and did all that. And then I borrowed my bass player's loop pedal, and I was like, oh, I can loop a couple of chords and just try to navigate playing a solo, which at the time I was good at rhythm guitar, but I was the worst lead guitarist ever. So it was an effort for me to lengthen my set a little, save my voice because I'm playing 4 hours where 4 people are sitting at the bar watching the football and nobody cares that I'm there. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to, you know, at the time I'm like 20 or whatever. And I'm like, well, if you guys aren't interested, then I'm just going to take my money and go. Or take my money, finish the gig, and be done, you know?
Yeah.
And so the looper thing was like me to turn it into a paid rehearsal and to kind of try and sound a bit bigger. So honestly, that's how it started. And then basically the very quick transition was, progression was, I saw a guy, Jarl Bernhoft, and now he just goes by the name Bernhoft, but he's from Norway. And I first saw a song of his called Come On Talk. Okay. And he starts it, he uses a Boss RC50.
Right.
Which was like, it's a pretty old pedal.
It's that red pedal, right?
It was an old, so there's the RC300, but it was the one before that.
Okay.
So I saw him do that, and he starts off with the, come on, talk to me, I will try my utmost to be on. And then he loops this like one line and loops it again. And he plays this guitar with like the low 2 strings, the E and the A string, are like bass strings.
Yeah.
And then the high 4 strings are just regular guitar strings. So it's like a Frankenstein guitar. Anyway, I was like, dude, that guy, he had like 1.2 million views. Like, this is like back in the early days of YouTube. And I'm like, that guy is incredible.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but I'm not going to do, like, that guy's great, but I'm not a looper. Like, I just loop for my solo gigs in between my like real gigs, my like band gigs and stuff. And then basically I just, you know, kept at it. And then at some point, I'm like, yeah, I'm a looper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. And actually, part of the kick was the first time I came to the US, and that was in 2011. And I came over to like write some songs and work on like a new album. And I realized like in Australia, a lot of people try and make more sound than they need to. And that's a whole other story. But basically, it's because venues have got really strict laws on volume requirements and stuff. And it's mostly an infrastructure thing over the last 20 years of not having funding to be able to support, you know, validating noise requirements.
Yeah,
and blah,
which
blah, blah.
is happening on Broadway right now.
Totally,
yeah.
But the difference is in America, like you've got, you know, every budget has an extra 0 compared to Australia, and they're able to afford people to go, okay, you've got a noise complaint, let's go check it out. Whereas Australia doesn't have the budget for that. The people that were allocated for that wasn't their job. So it just turned into this like, okay, we've had 3 phone calls, so that venue's got to drop the noise by X amount or whatever. And so Coincidentally, over like 20 years, Australia has gone from bands in pubs to trios to duos to duos to solo, and then there's more backing tracks and there's more like one-man band thing and there's more like people playing as many instruments as they can because you're only able to have a duo, so it's like, well, we want to sound real big. So I come from kind of that, but needless to say, when I got to the States for the first time, I was looping and I just noticed nobody really did that. So I'm like, oh, maybe there's more to this than I thought. So then I just kind of doubled down on that a little more, and here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. It's so cool. It's so cool to see how much, time has to go into it to really hone into the craft that it actually is. But so you started with the Boss, say it one more time. The
Digitech Jam Man, which is the same as a Boss RC30 or RC20. Yeah.
And then what you have now is so different.
Yeah.
From that.
Yeah, it is.
Now you have a literal spaceship in front of you.
Yeah.
And was this like what I'm really curious about is just like what steps you took to get to where you are now with the spaceship and kind of why you made those steps.
Yeah.
So like we like to get kind of gear nerdy.
Okay, cool.
On this podcast.
Okay, well, because it's about to get.
And I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Okay.
But so
yeah.
What's happening?
Okay, so what? All right. So this is what you can see on the floor. I guess. Oh yeah, we got one camera on it.
Yeah.
Is a product of years. 100%. I need this one little thing, and I'm calculated about that one specific thing.
I love that.
So, I'm flattered by people online now. If there's one thing I'm known for by anybody in the world, it's anybody who loops. It's my only claim to fame thing, really. It's like anybody who loops, there's a pretty good chance they know who I am. So
yeah.
So all that to say, like,
sure.
We all have the same commentary. We all geek out about the same stuff. So chances are pretty good we've either met or we've seen each other's stuff online or whatever. So
there's not a lot of loopers.
There's not a lot of loopers,
and I think because it's so hard to figure out how to do it, probably live.
Yeah, people
or just do it.
The trouble, it is. It is, but also coming from my perspective, it's really simple. Which is weird to say.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It kind of is.
Okay.
But it's like when you figure it out, it's simple.
Yeah.
But when you look it up, there's not a lot of information on it.
Yeah.
It's hard to find people like you that are like really doing it, and like I can't find anybody that explains it really, really well. I can think of like 3 YouTube or 4 YouTube videos that I've gone to. And it's like, oh, there's some Ableton stuff that you can do. And then there's, God, I'm so dumb. The Boss pedal.
Oh, yeah.
Then there's that pedal.
Yeah.
But, and also what you've been saying, it's like, it's so specific for what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own, like, combination of instruments that they're good at.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I think the coolest thing about looping is you have a great voice. And you're good at guitar, and like you have this like, you don't have the dreadlocks anymore, but you have that nice like islandy type sound. Looping is such a cool way to combine all those things that you're good at and put it into one thing. That's kind of what I'm thinking about with.
It's combining your own brain as a producer,
right,
as well, and I think it's a blessing and a curse. Because like some people shouldn't be producing anything, and some people they should be producing, but they shouldn't be the guitarist in their own producer world, so like so the funny thing about looping is when you think about like any instrument, right, and this goes from an audio perspective too, like to me, any audio engineer or every audio engineer, a live audio engineer or studio or whatever, should know what to do with a snare drum. right, should know what to do with a kick or should know what to do with a drum kit, right? So don't get me wrong, there's wildly different drummers, but they all hit snare drums, or most of them hit snare drums and kick drums and the hi-hats in a specific order in a specific way. And they're all tuned a little different, but they're all still a snare drum.
Yeah.
And they're all still a kick. You get where I'm going with that. Same deal with guitar. Most guitarists have a variation of an overdrive pedal and a reverb pedal and right? It's just a slightly different everybody's looking from a different tone. And there's some people who tap, and there's some people who play fingerstyle or whatever, but it's you essentially pluck strings in a specific way and people have their own kind of voice.
Right.
All that to say with looping, because there's so many elements involved with it, there's also a different process involved with it. So yeah, if I break down my loop, right, you'll hear something that vaguely resembles some kind of a kick, something that resembles a snare, something resembles a breath or a hi-hat or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
But the way that I hit the kick is a combination of me going poof, right, and slapping my guitar.
Yeah.
Whereas the way that Ed hits the kick is slapping on this part of a completely different guitar.
Yeah.
So, and then the way that somebody else does the kick is a MIDI sample kick drum of an 808.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So all that to say, like, loopers' tones are pulled from, like, the most expansive libraries, ranging from the cheapest, crappiest guitar string slap to, like, the most perfectly mastered drum sample from...
It's a wide spectrum.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then some people don't even have a snare sound. They just have a kick sound. Or they don't even loop beat. They just loop this, like, synth trans sound,
Yeah.
like it's really weird. Now you couple, like, whatever instrument goes on in that person's brain and however it comes to fruition for audio with the producer style that they have, with the stage, and then with the audio tone, and then whatever the audio guy can do with it, person can do with it.
Yeah.
You get such a ridiculous spectrum of
100%.
of amazing to horrible, like, real quick. And the problem is, because you've got so many instruments and you've got so many things that you layer, it's it's just really interesting when people can take it. But there's so many more room, so many more places for it to get screwed up.
Sure.
So it's really difficult, But but in terms of, like, me building my board, what I was going to say before is I'm flattered in the sense that there's a few people that I know, maybe more that I don't, that have literally got the exact guitar.
That's cool.
The same, and it's cool. It's cool.
It is cool.
Feel, because like, they care and they want to sound the same, and and it just means that I've dialed in my sound good, and that's why they, that's how I'm taking it. But, like,
it's a good way to put it.
It's cool, right? So and it's not lost on me. It's rad. It's super cool with that. But the problem is now is, like, all of my settings are based on the way that I play the guitar, how loud I play the guitar.
Yeah, right.
My finger style and my voice and my input level and my all of that sort of stuff. So you could take my exact settings, I could literally hand my guitar to a different person and it'll come out completely different.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So people don't kind of realize that. And so basically, for every single pedal that I have, if I was, in another dimension, right? If I was me in another dimension and I was left-handed or whatever, I'd probably have to have a completely different octave pedal and a completely different overdrive pedal.
Yeah, right.
Because the way, right, for whatever reason, butterfly effect. But
right.
So all of these pedals, basically, I've just kind of dialed in. And something that's excited, I'm swapping out my my HX effects here for a quad cortex, a neural DSP quad cortex. Literally got it today. So this is probably the last time I'll play with this setup. I'm going to try and dial it in, so I'm using it tomorrow. But my goal is to combine these two pedals to just one, which is actually lighter than the HX effects. So
Hey everybody, we're interrupting the podcast because we want to show you kind of what's really going on here at Garden Groove. This is a place where people can come in, record podcasts like we're doing now, but we can also record full bands in here. We've also had some people record just drum content or just drum tracks. So there's all sorts of options here, and that's kind of where Jackson comes in.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Jackson Maddox. I am the head audio engineer here at Garden Groove. So we have a lot of great gear now that we are really, really excited to share. The sound in the room is awesome. We've been recording bands in here. We've had people come in and do drum cover videos. And the way that this studio is laid out is so that you can come in here and feel like you can do whatever you can imagine in here. So we would love for you to bring in your next project, whatever that may be, and we would love to just be a part of that and help you out.
And if you also just want to hang out, we're doing monthly master classes. That's every last Monday of the month. So every month we're going to feature a new artist and entrepreneur in Nashville, diving into different Ableton things, diving into different photography and all sorts of different stuff. So you can check that out on all of our socials, and it'd be good to meet you all. And have a good day. And
Signing off. That was good.
Can you break it down? Can you, for
Yeah.
someone,
Yeah, so
I don't know, like me, that has no idea what's...
yeah, I'll tell
on?
you what everything is in
Please.
no order apart from right to left.
Yep.
So, well, actually, I'll tell you the signal flow. So it starts with a tuner, just a good tuner, and then it runs into my TC Spark pedal here. This one, which all that does is just boost the volume just a couple of dB. So I think every acoustic guitarist should have a tuner. Regardless whether you loop, doesn't matter. Everybody should have a tuner and a volume boost. And the reason the volume boost is so important is, like let me show you. Oh yeah, I'm still on. I just turned my pedal off. The reason a boost is stupid important is if you think I'm strumming, right? And then I go to finger pick. Now that's a little bit quieter, and in this circumstance you can hear it fine, and it's fine to be dynamic or whatever. But at a bar or at a stage or at a whatever, like if I'm doing this, the audio engineer wants to turn me up because I'm now too quiet,
Right.
because that's my volume,
Right.
So that allows me to, on the same volume with that on,
Nice.
finger style, as
Yeah.
I am there.
Nice.
So that's all it is. And then that also doubles as like a little lead tone kind of deal.
Yeah.
So great pedal. Everybody should have a tuner and a boost. Now from there, it's like optional extras.
Sure.
So I go into an octave pedal, which basically just takes the note and drops it. And I have the direct signal going through it as well, so you can hear the actual guitar, regular guitar note, and you can hear the sub octave. So
Cool.
that's what I do when I'm laying down a bass line.
Cool.
Then I come over to my HX effects, and in here I have a bunch of random stuff. I've got reverb, which you can hear. I've got like a wah. It's like a Qtron kind of sound. Then my overdrive. Which is cool. Tremolo, chorus, and I've got this parametric EQ which kind of rolls off the top,
Yeah, nice.
which sounds kind of cool with an overdrive. It sounds kind of bluesy, whereas like the regular overdrive sounds a little more bluesy. And then to fully geek out, because that's what the channel's about, I guess,
Right,
is
that's right.
my overdrive signal. This foot switch just engages a few things. I've got a parametric EQ
Oh, crazy.
either side of the overdrive,
Mm-hmm.
and that tames the signal to be more of like an acoustic guitar. When you hear it, you got really high, really low.
Yeah, right.
frequency, right? And an electric guitar doesn't go lower than like 80 hertz or 70. I mean, it goes lower, but it rolls off pretty quick.
Right.
So my parametric EQ takes the low end out and the high end out. Then it sends an effects loop out to a clon overdrive, which is my Wampler tumnus up there, and it comes back in, and then I put another parametric EQ on it to like dial it in, and then that's how I get my overdrive sound. And then it comes into this pedal, which is basically underneath everything. That's my head rush loop station. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how much longer this will be in my life because they're discontinued. And then I did it.
Really?
I'm working with the new Sheeran loopers, so I hope to swap this out for one of those.
Is the Sheeran looper similar? What's
very similar? Yeah, it's actually made by Head Rush as well.
Okay.
It's designed by the Sheeran loopers team, but the company that constructs them is Head Rush, so they're doing all the components in the product.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very much a collab with them. But yeah, great, much better foot switches. They're kind of like these style instead of these like little ones. Yeah, which is going to be super cool. Yeah, and then basically over here is just for my main vocal mic. So at the moment it's muted, so that's just to unmute it, and then this is a reverb. So I'm gonna ditch that, but well, not ditch it. It's still great.
You set it on fire.
I'm just trying to. Yeah, I'm gonna throw it off out of a hotel window. Trying to land on a TV
off of a Nashville rooftop.
That's right.
Onto a cot.
I did a song about Morgan Wallen the other day. I did. Last night I tried to fight a chair, threw it from the roof that landed next to two officers. Only cost me $15,000 and 3 felonies. Instead of 15 years, I'll probably get it down to 3. No way they make it hard time.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty bad what happened, but anyway, yeah.
He's a goon.
So I use that, and I use my mute button for my vocal mic only for like big shows. So like if it's an amphitheater or a festival or something where the volume of the PA is like really loud. I don't know if, like I guess not a whole lot of people have experienced that, but what happens is like the stage noise and just the noise reflecting off the crowd coming back. So like if I'm into the mic and I clap my hands, I hear a right? Because I hear a clap, and then the clap goes out of the speakers, and then it bounces off the crowd and comes back. Right. So I have to mute this microphone, my main vocal mic, when I'm like beatboxing and looping everything, because otherwise I hear like, so it puts you out of time and stuff. So I just mute my main vocal mic while I'm layering up a loop. Right. And then I unmute it to just sing regularly and stuff.
Something you learn through experience.
Yeah. And then this is just a volume pedal for my loop volume. So
yeah. Can you go over this stuff too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then
again, these are all just selfish questions.
I don't know. Let me see if you can.
I got a shot of it earlier. I could maybe
tune
in
cool.
the shot later.
So yeah, I have a little a rack over here, which is custom made, and it actually fits in a tiny little like TSA approved carry-on Pelican case. And it's deliberate for that, because if I'm able to carry on my rack, that's a game changer. That means I'm able to bring a whole other bag. That means I can bring shirts and shorts and shoes,
which is important.
Which is crazy.
Clothing matters. Clothing matters.
So I'm fully wireless. Down the bottom, I've got a Midas MR18 mixer, which is all digital console. And I'm running everything at my feet over into that. And then basically I've just got 3 wireless units. So I've got my in-ear monitors, which I usually use, and then I've got a wireless guitar and my wireless vocal. And then just a little power supply, and then a router, like a Wi-Fi router in the back, so I can digitally control it. So yeah, fantastic little rig. And
well done.
I made one for my friend as well, who's got a pretty similar setup.
Nice.
And it's an absolute game changer because it's so tiny, and I can just travel with it everywhere.
To me, that's the biggest thing, because I mean, I don't know what it is, but all the like drummers around town that are gigging, they all have the same kind of gear setup that they take on the road. That covers the in-ear monitors, and I think that covers maybe the
There'd be
drum
tracks
kit.
probably.
Yeah, and tracks and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but it's
most
this
drummers seem to
huge-
queue up tracks and stuff. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they have a rack.
It's this huge box.
Yeah.
Which it looks like it's a similar amount of inputs.
Well, it'd be.
I think I'm just surprised by how small this is.
Well, see, this is all just for me though.
Right.
So like, if it's
But you got 5 inputs? Do you have more?
I have 5 inputs, but see, the thing that takes up the most space is not the console; it's the wireless stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So like, if we were in a duo, you and I, then we'd need 6 of those top units. So then it'd
Right.
need to be twice as wide, or not twice as wide, but a little wider.
Right. Right.
And then if there was, but yeah, a lot of drummers, or a lot of drummers that I know, touring drummers, they either cue the backing tracks, or or they have a rack that's got everybody's in-ear monitors and stuff in, that's basically just sits back behind them, and they can make quick adjustments and stuff. And I mean, everybody who's serious about music and who tours should have just an X32, like Behringer X32 digital rack, and it doesn't even have to be wireless headphones, wireless in-ears or whatever. Like if I don't have a wireless guitar, if I'm plugged in, I'm plugged in. So there's no point having a wireless pack for my in-ears if I'm plugged in for my guitar. So like if I'm plugged in for my guitar, I just run, like, you can get this like snake wrap stuff that looks like snake skin or whatever, and you can put, a few cables in it. So I highly recommend just like a guitar cable and then a headphone extension cable.
Yeah.
And then you just run that to a headphone preamp.
Right.
And then you're fully wired. You don't have to replace batteries or whatever. You can run in-ear monitors, get a nice 25-foot, guitar cable and that. And then that's great because you can just run your headphone out. And then anybody who's wireless on the stage, then they're the ones that get the wireless packs. You don't have to drop bag.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I think so I've only been here for 3 years. But the thing that I'm starting to realize is most people I see move to town, and maybe it's a case of this is how I experienced it, so everybody must have experienced it the same way.
Yeah.
But it seems like everybody moves to town and they have a good hold of their instrument, and they think that's kind of like, that's it.
That's what you need.
I can play drums. You should check out my paradiddles. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But then you get into town, and then you want to get the gig, and then the gig is breaking down like everything you just said.
Yeah.
Like you need to know the gear side, and you need to know how to run tracks, and you need to know what in-ears are and how to run all that kind of stuff. So honestly, part of the reason why on this podcast I love to break down the gear side of stuff is for that reason.
Yeah.
Is because I think it's helpful for people to learn this kind of stuff. Because like, you're a live looper, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
How in depth is that? How many years of your time and attention actually went into the gear side of it, as opposed to, or I guess in addition to, the performing side of it? It matters maybe just as much, but I think it's talked about the least, and especially us as loopers, it's hard to learn this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When there's not a lot of information out about it.
Well, even with the drummers, like when you were talking about people coming to town thinking they're all that, not just drummers, like everybody, every singer, every artist. And then the problem is, I think most of the time they don't realize why they didn't get the gig, and they didn't get the gig because somebody who's as qualified and as talented as that drummer also does harmonies.
Yeah, how many
and
cards
also
do they have?
knows
in
how
their
to
deck?
run audio,
Right.
and control an in-ear rig.
Right. Yeah.
So and really, this is what I think is like, if you're talented on the instrument that you have, the biggest limitation that you have is your own ego thinking that that's all you need. You
Yeah,
know,
thank
and that's
you.
every
That's right.
single. Yeah, exactly. Like
Yep.
that's just what you were saying.
Yep.
I just packaged it in different words, but yeah, it's the same deal of like every artist that's like been told their whole life from their 4 aunties and their 3 best friends and mom and whatever. There's like, oh my God, you got the most amazing voice. It's like, yeah, so what? Right? Which like, and I haven't got the best voice. Like, I'm not the best guitarist. I know I'm really good at looping.
Yeah.
And I consider myself a pretty decent songwriter. I know I can sing. I know I can play. I know I'm very solid across the board. But the one thing that I am not is weak in massive areas.
Sure.
Right. And that's something that I feel like I wish I knew earlier, because I'd probably be, in this position years ago.
Yeah.
But like, like people don't realize what their weakness is until you have a little competition who can totally do that.
Yeah, it's great.
You know,
Yeah, which is why you move to a new city, and that can be helpful.
Nashville. That's why you moved to Nashville.
Yeah. Why'd
Yeah.
you do it? Why'd you move here? Why Nashville? Why not whatever, Seattle or any of the other cities?
There's a lot of little reasons, I think.
Yeah.
Probably the main one is it's familiar to me. When I first came to the States, I did some songwriting and recorded my first album with a friend of mine and producer, Mike Flanders. And then I've been working with his son,
Okay.
Ben Flanders, for years on most of my other recordings as well. But
He's here? He lives?
yeah,
lives
he's
in
here.
Nashville?
They're an Australian family. They've been living here forever.
Oh,
but,
cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I met him at a music festival, and then he invited me to come over to extend my songwriting and stuff, because I wasn't particularly fluent, as a songwriter, even though I thought I was at the time. Looking back, I'm like, oh my God. But everybody does that with playing, with everything.
That's right.
But so I came to Nashville, and really it opened up my eyes as to what capabilities were of people in the industry.
Sure.
And apart from it being Music City, me really feeling like it's a small town that's a city,
that's right.
which it really is. And
That's
especially at the time, even just 2011, I mean, the Gulch was a gravel parking lot
Yeah,
with
sure.
the station inn and
Yeah.
subway. And,
Where'd you move to when you first moved to town?
we were in Glencliff, which is like just south of the city. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
5 minutes away from downtown. Like,
Okay.
but it was pretty divey. Like, and
Was it really?
there was like bed bugs and stuff in the, and
Sure.
oh man,
Gotta
it was,
pay your dues.
oh, it was bad. And moving with a family of 4.
Yeah, you
like
moved
my-
with the whole crew.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
kids were a year and a half and 3 at the time.
Mhm.
And my son's bedroom was a walk-in wardrobe of the master bedroom.
Yeah.
And me and my wife stayed in the small bedroom, and then the kids had a playroom / bedroom / bedroom in the
Yeah.
walk-in wardrobe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nashville is, I mean, apart from it being a creative hub and a hotspot, it's also central. You can get most places in a day's drive.
Yeah, that's the cool part.
It's also a really good place to raise a family. Southern hospitality goes a long way.
It's true.
People are walking around less entitled, than
There's
like
less
I'm-
fur coats than some other parts
yeah,
of the
exactly.
world.
And it's
yeah.
and there's pros and cons. Don't get me wrong. Of
Yeah.
of all places, but California or New York or whatever are only a quick flight away. They're pretty accessible. Whereas like I've got friends that live on the West Coast, and it's great if you want to do anything in California or Nevada or whatever, but anywhere else, and you can't drive. You got to fly all the time.
Right.
Whereas like I can zip up to Chicago in 7 hours, or Atlanta or New Orleans, or like anywhere.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
Yeah, that was the thing back in Colorado,
Yeah,
is everything was like 3-4 hours away.
yeah.
But here, yeah, everything's
It's
so
right
close.
there.
It's like an hour
Yeah.
away.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
And
nice to have.
the next best thing too is because Nashville's really become a hotspot on people's radar. So many things are here. Like so many people
Yeah.
come here or are here.
Yeah.
Now, which is really great.
There's
and-
so many people moving here.
Yeah, and to have
Yeah.
been here early enough, to feel probably more local than most people that are here now. Even though I've only been here for
Oh, you're an OG. If
Yeah.
you're before 2020,
even
Yeah.
that, yeah, well before 2020.
that's how
yeah.
I see it. If you're before 2020.
Yeah, you make up more than like 50% of the.
Yeah.
Or less than 50%, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you're after 2020, you're more than 50% of the population
Yeah.
in Nashville. It's crazy.
It's just, I'm so curious to see what it's like in like 10 years.
Mm.
There's the new football stadium, and
Oh, that's going to be
there's
crazy.
10,000 people moving here every day or whatever it is.
And
a
then
month?
Amazon's expanding
Yeah.
too. And aren't they getting
Oracle
like,
too.
is that with the performance
right?
places? Oracle, did you say?
I think that's right.
That's the new stage, the big like event space.
No, like Oracle has like a new tech
Oh, okay.
center
Something.
that they're making.
Something
here. Some
AI.
big building. Yeah.
AI.
But it's bringing like
Yeah.
a bunch of jobs and
Yeah.
tech jobs, which is
Yep.
probably a little different than what Nashville's used to.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
in my
making stuff
experience
up,
of how they've
but-
handled everything, like even the draft, like I'm a big sports fan playing it,
Are you really?
but I don't like follow any sports.
I
I mean,
don't- I
I'll
don't
watch a
follow any
game of
sports.
football or hockey or baseball
Sure.
or whatever, but I don't have a team or anything.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
played a few shows around the NFL draft and being out in the occasional New Year's Eve celebration, 4th of July stuff, and like for a small town, like I mean, it's a small town. It's a really small town. They handle like millions of people in the city well.
Yeah.
And they don't just handle it. Like I was surprised that like for the draft, like they even had on all of the traffic lights. I don't know if you went downtown when that happened, but they had like the red, amber, and green. They had NFL
Did they?
on all the lights down, like in Broadway.
Wow.
Yeah, like so. That's been my experience with anything that's related to Nashville. They haven't just gone, okay, we're going to throw all of our police and security and emergency services to like help configure crowds and make sure that we've got ambulances here for like health and like tents and control and like people's safety and all of that sort of stuff. They've covered all of that, but they're also adding flair.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you think of any other city that has to host,
I like that.
they're not just adding flair, they're just doing the task. They're
Right.
like, okay, we need 5 people over there and we need 400 security guards there or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of doing that, whereas Nashville's like, we got this, but we're also going to make a statement that
Oh,
we're
we
cool.
don't just have this.
Yeah, exactly.
doing
And
this
that's
in
something that
style.
I'm loving about it because
I like that.
I mean, it just goes to show that it's like, the people that are involved with these decisions or like marketing and communications and stuff, like they're interested and they're proud. Like they're proud that it's Nashville. Like they're
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
come to Nashville. Like we'll
Totally.
give you a good time.
Totally.
And I feel like that's has to be, as an OG, somebody
Yes.
who's lived here like, almost
Another
10
t-shirt
years.
design.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the selling points in Nashville.
Yeah,
you know.
100%.
Yeah,
It's
I think
got
so.
a unique flavor to it. And I've never been to LA. I can't say anything about
Never
it.
been to LA?
I've never been.
Oh man,
I've never been.
have you traveled much? Have you been out of the country?
I don't travel too much. Like I've been to Hawaii.
I haven't
That's
been to
probably
Hawaii.
the furthest I've
Yeah.
been. Me and my girlfriend are going to Paris though
Oh, cool.
in like 2 months. That's gonna be the furthest I've ever gone in my whole life.
That's cool.
So I'm excited about that. But never
I
been
proposed
to
in Paris.
What was that?
I proposed in Paris.
No.
You think do you think she's expecting it?
I don't know. I
How
don't
long
know.
have you been together? You going to Paris with your girlfriend? Come on now. Are you going up there?
It's for one of my friends is getting married in Florence, like one of my best friends from back home. So, and then we also have some other friends in Paris. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
okay.
go to Paris, see that whole crew.
Get engaged real
and
quick.
Then,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna go to Florence after that for the wedding, and then fly out of Rome.
That's cool.
We've been together for like a year and a half.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think I'm too quick to pop the question.
You don't
like
have
that.
to answer that. I'm putting you on the spot. That's funny.
It's probably not gonna happen there, but I haven't
That's a
been
beautiful part of the world, though.
I'm so excited.
I haven't been to Florence. I asked if you traveled much.
yeah.
I haven't been to Florence, but yeah, Rome, Paris. I mean, we went. I've luckily enough traveled a lot. Been very fortunate with music,
Yeah.
and yeah, we did. My wife traveled a lot before we met, and we went on a trip. Actually, we were together for about a year and a half. Funnily enough, and then we went on this trip, and it was Amsterdam. It was London, Brighton, Amsterdam, Paris, Stockholm, Venice, and then Rome. And we did that in it was like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It was so fast. It was too fast.
It seems kind of fast.
We were
yeah.
drunk a lot.
Sure.
Like
But you
I
get
just
that
remember it was a
sweet
vicious
wine.
cycle. We just walk and we like, oh, one of us needs to pee. And so we just go into a cafe or a restaurant or whatever. Or if we were in London, we go into a bar and
Yeah.
we got to order something. So let's get a pint.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
And then it's like, and then we'll pee and then we'll drink and then we'll see you guys. And then we'll walk for another like,
Yeah.
and then you break the seal and like every
See you
45
later at
minutes
that
you're going
point,
into
yeah.
a bar and ordering a pint and going to the bathroom and then leaving.
It's
and
an
then
interesting way to see the city, though.
Dude, I
Like,
put on like, I don't even know what I put on like 10, 15 pounds
That's
in
what
like 3
everybody
weeks.
says.
Yeah.
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 I've heard a lot of people say like
But that's if you do it the way that we did, which is we were pretty young and we
Yeah.
drank a lot and we would,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's just do everything, you know.
Right.
But yeah, you can do it. I mean, dude, like I'm big in nutrition, but like but like Italy and France are very good at like all of their white grains and breads and stuff. Like
Right.
they're nowhere near. They haven't got all the preservatives and stuff that's in the
That's what I
States.
w- I was
so
gonna
you
say
don't
that.
actually put on weight and you don't feel as lethargic as you do with like white bread and all that stuff.
Cause I'm a runner, so
yeah.
I try to like carb up if I'm gonna do a long run or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And I feel just like I also have like bad skin, so I'll feel like inflamed and my skin is
Yeah.
red
Yeah.
if I have some Kroger
Yeah.
pasta. And
Yeah.
I've heard the Kroger pasta isn't as good as the pasta in Italy.
Whoa.
So I'm excited to experience the difference.
You mean Italian pasta is better than Kroger?
That's what I've been hearing. Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I'm excited to see. I might bring.
That couldn't possibly be right.
I might see if I can bring some Kroger pasta to
Do
Italy.
they have Kroger in Italy?
I don't know.
You
tell
should
me.
bring Kroger pasta to Italy and then sub it out when
I
they're
should
doing
give it a
some kind
side
of
by
house party.
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. I brought my
I brought
own
my
pasta.
own
though.
pasta
I just want to see
from home. Oh, what a wonderful guess. Where's this from? Kroger. Oh, it sounds fancy.
Yeah, it's an American cuisine.
Yeah. I only saw 20 people side carry in the pasta aisle. Man.
But I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
It's gonna be amazing. I'm headed to Malta in a little bit. I got a tour coming up, and we go somewhere different every year. It's the Dave Koss cruise tour that I'm invited on, and wonderful people, and just the most ridiculous players in the world.
Sure.
And being a drummer, you know Sheila E.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, she
Yeah.
was. I mean, we were jamming out last year. It was ridiculous.
Really?
Like most of Prince's band were there. BK Jackson and Sheila, and
Yeah.
just absolute weapons, on the kit. But
She's got to be getting older, right?
she's just, she's. I mean, she
50 or
looks
something?
fantastic. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'd be scared to guess. She'd take me out, man. If I'm wrong, I guess 21, and then I'll stay on in good books. Like she's not somebody I want to cross.
I guess
Wonderful lady.
Same, I guess. Yeah, fantastic player.
But yeah, travel's really interesting. Really, really cool. You're gonna.
I
love
think
it.
it's important too. It's almost comical for me to say it because I just moved from Colorado to Tennessee, and you moved literally across the world.
Yep.
But I think traveling, and I teach drum lessons too, and I think just versatility in general and like
Yeah.
putting yourself in different situations, I think is very important.
Oh yeah.
I think there's something.
It's
there's
worldly.
something about it.
Worldly's the word. It's
Yeah.
like it's something that like you like having a conversation with somebody. You can pretty quickly find out if they've traveled or not without even asking them the question.
Sure.
Just based on their adaptiveness to your language.
Sure.
Like even just not even accents. Like I've noticed in the States, right? I mean, I'm obviously from Australia, but in the US, in certain regions, you say trash, or you say rubbish, or garbage, or dumpster, or
Sure.
waste paper, or what? Like
Yep.
you've got like 8 different words for bin, right? And it's like, and in each region, it's like you better say that version because
Sure.
otherwise they have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so my point is if you've traveled, then you just quickly adapt
sure.
to the way that it's said and the way that people are if you come from anywhere and come to the South and somebody says bless your heart, You go, oh, thank you. It's like it couldn't be more out of place. Like, you messed up, dude. Like, but like worldly is like knowing that or interpreting that, or like even more worldly is like expecting that and learning about that really quick and using it in real time, and just knowing people's real intentions or making friends and meeting people, not offending anybody, and actually not contributing to a bad time,
Sure.
So,
yeah,
it's big.
It is big. And I can only think about it, maybe because I haven't traveled, but I can only think about it in terms of like drumming. Because when I teach my students, it's like you're going to become a better drummer if you learn something other than rock and roll. If you learn something other than AC/DC, learn some Daphnis Prieto. He's a Latin drummer out of Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Learn some of his stuff. You'll figure out what clave is. And like, I can't quite explain why, but like, if you learn what clave is, your rock and roll like improves for
I was just going to say, it'd
some
improve your
strange
rock
reason.
drumming.
Yeah.
Like being able to play some kind of swing, jazz or whatever.
Right.
Or like Indian hand drums and stuff are going to improve your motor responsiveness or whatever. So you're going to be able to play rock better.
Right. It's
And
a weird thing how it works that way. And I think
it's nuanced. I think that's what it is with drums, with percussion.
Yeah.
Like I always say with, like you could put two drummers side by side, right? And you'll say, okay, I want you to play this, right?
Yeah.
And one person, hypothetically, is on the beat. Like totally, everything is totally on the grid.
Yeah.
And then another person plays the exact same beat, but the hats are a little bit late and the snare's a little bit early.
Yeah.
And the kick is dead on grid.
Yep.
And you're like, I don't know why, but I'm really feeling this one more. And they just do it naturally. And that's only because you have to be so aware of the grid to be able to deliberately do that.
Right.
And you can only get that aware from the grid if you've not only played that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. For some reason, it's hard to play consistently out of time than it is to be like perfectly on time.
Dude, it's golf. I do that in golf. Like, I can relate this to golf.
Yeah,
Watch
you're a
this.
golfer
Ready?
too. We never asked about that.
Ready? This is how you relate it to golf. If people are struggling making contact with the ball, you deliberately practice topping it.
Yeah.
Or shanking it. So a top is when you obviously hit the top half of your ball and it kind of just drops forward kind of thing. And then like a toe or a shank is like where the blade hits the ball, whether it's out on the toe or in the heel of the club. Mm-hmm. So if you deliberately hit those locations, that's actually harder to do than to hit the center of the club.
Yeah.
So you're doing that exact same thing. So it's like if you're struggling with the interaction between the ground and not striking the ball right, how Australian was that word? Then if you deliberately try to top the ball and top it certain percentages, like if you try and top it only a little bit, or if you try and top it real like a lot, then it's like you're really navigating the low point of your swing.
Yeah.
So then now once you become good at that, if you try and make regular contact with the ball, you're going to be an absolute weapon.
Yeah, you've felt the whole spectrum of it.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
Yeah,
I like something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you travel,
everything's
you've
golf.
seen the whole spectrum. Everything is golf.
Everything's golf.
I feel the same with running because that's my whole thing. Like everything's running.
Have you tried pickleball?
No, I will never try pickleball.
God.
I've seen your Instagram posts. I will never try pickleball.
Why?
You standing
It's basically
on
running with a paddle. It's basically all it is.
It's just
You'd
running
like
with
it.
the
You'd
paddle
like
and then you
90%
hit
of
the
it.
ball. I've seen your post where you're standing on the railing and you're playing the paddle.
I did that
like
because there was a free paddle involved.
Oh,
and I
okay.
don't know. I don't
Okay.
think I got it.
Okay.
I still
I'm
would have
sorry
done
to
a
hear.
post, but I did a more extreme one because I was told that somebody was going to be selected to get a free paddle. And,
Sure. You didn't get it?
Musicians need all the help we can get.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'll
I'll never
I don't know
play
if it was
pickleball.
drawn yet, but
It's one of those things like if everybody likes Ariana Grande, I won't like Ariana Grande.
oh yeah.
If everybody likes
principle.
pickleball right now, so I'm never going to do it.
I don't know
It's a
if everybody
horrible way
likes
to go about
pickleball
it.
though. I think there's still kickback.
100%. It's so
You think?
it's so trendy right now.
Yeah. I don't think it's converted over to too cool yet. To be cool to not like it. I don't think it's quite there yet. So I think you still
Maybe
got
not.
room.
Maybe I got time. Maybe I got
Golf
time to
got
like it.
close. Golf hit hard. And people just wanted to wear cute outfits and go out and try and golf. You know, and I felt like you feel protective of something you've been doing for a while, and then
Totally.
newbies come along, and
Yeah.
you know, and it's different if they're in it for the right reasons, but then
Right.
it's the ones that are like, oh, this is cute, let's go and play golf, everybody, and then they don't care about etiquette or
Right.
learning the rules or
Right.
like being a good sportsman, you know.
Right.
They just like want to wear the outfit and go and
Yeah.
screw everybody
For
else's
the
day up who's
Instagram.
having a good time.
Yeah. Take some good photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the wrong way to do it.
All right.
I'm sorry, I went off topic.
Well,
I
I
don't know
also
even
did.
what we're talking about.
We both went off topic.
Something about drums.
Do you wanna play some tunes?
Yeah.
And
All right. You ready? Get a drink. Get comfortable. This song's called Stereo. I panicked, so I chose this one. I like this song. It doesn't have any beatbox in this song, so I'm just going to kind of do little breathy things. But it's a bit of a show opener. So that's why. Let's go.
Rapid rhythm rolling left, right. Soundtrack is in love and so carefree. Since you've been right by my side, they said two speakers better than one if you turn them up and it sounds sweet. Our love is stereo, never gonna let you go. Super synth overtone. Lay your body down, such a sweet melody. Just let your chest fall down on mine. Hey, rhythm and rhyme can be a therapy. A sweet song to last a whole lifetime. They say two speakers are better than one if you turn them up and it sounds sweeter. Our love is stereo, never gonna let you go. Super synth overtone, out of this stereo, out of this stereo. They say two speakers are better than one if you turn them up and it sounds sweet. Our love is stereo. Never gonna let you go. Super synth overtone. Out of this stereo, out of this stereo. Stereo.
I screwed up a little bit in that.
I couldn't even tell. I actually couldn't even tell.
Really? I'll tell you what it was.
Maybe I have a bad
I'll tell you what I did. I'll tell you what I did wrong. Let me tell you what I did wrong. I was doing. I had this on, and I was go into the second verse, and I was ready to go.
Lay your body down, such a sweet melody.
Right? But what happened is my foot bumped 2 pedals, and it turned everything off.
Oh.
And then I went a little bit.
Lay your body down, such a sweet melody. Let your chest fall.
So I had nothing going on. So I faked it. Yeah, so I stopped and faked that I did
Freak me
mess
out.
up, but I did.
I literally couldn't tell. Maybe I was just focused
You'll
on
see it.
on
You'll
the camera.
See, if anybody didn't notice, go back and watch that bit.
They'll
but
see
I
it.
definitely screwed up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that live though. I did it deliberately to show you
Right.
guys.
It's a learning moment.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a learning moment. That's right.
That's right.
What's your slapper? What's your snare drum? Your slapper snare drum.
Have a guess. Have a guess what this is.
I'll tell you. I'll
What-
tell you exactly
what is it?
what that is. That right there.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, that thing right there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
What is it?
It's something that you put in your shoe to lift.
No. Oh, close though.
I thought that was a good guess.
Close. I'll give you one more. Do you have any ideas or no? Or do you want me to just tell you? You don't win anything.
Then I don't care.
Okay.
I don't-
Then give me the answer. It's an incense stick holder.
No,
It
Is it
really
really?
is. It's
Oh yeah, it's got
so
the
it's
it's
the
got the
end.
hole in it.
So it's got the hole. Yeah, you can't see it, but there's a little hole in there, and it's the end that kicks up, right? So you know
But
how
you-
incense
Yeah,
stick
yeah.
holders are like this. This is the hand part of it,
Yeah.
right? So then I put some Velcro on it, and there's a truss rod that kind of goes like right there.
Nice. I feel like that's even on brand for you.
Yeah, I created it.
You seem like someone that would burn incense.
Oh,
You don't have your dreadlocks
I don't
anymore.
burn incense.
But
I have incense, but I don't. I don't burn it. I like to think like I have different flavors.
Yeah. I heard they're supposed to be bad for your lungs. The air, the smoke.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So, anyway, makes a good sound though.
It's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Really wood blocky. I kind of combine.
Yeah, wood blocky.
Let me delete that. I combine that with that. I layer those two things together.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like this. Right. Ah, that was too
I
early.
get
That's
you.
so
though.
bad. All right, now my pedal's glitching out. You get what I'm talking about.
I get you though. Yeah, a lot of people. I hear it a lot in like hip hop stuff, but they'll get a snare drum sound.
Yeah.
Which is cracky, so that's your incense, and then
Yep.
they'll put a kabasa over it. So that's the. So that's your.
Oh,
your
yeah,
strings.
yeah.
So it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Well, actually,
good.
I do like a noise.
Yeah, you do that too.
So yeah, I'll layer it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So like if I'm doing a we don't want reverb. Get off that. So this is like a downbeat kit, kind of a chill, and then I'll up here. So then I'll layer. So that's me going and that. Yeah. But then if you add like little ghosty notes. And then if you do, oh my gosh, people don't realize the power of a late tambourine. You'll know what I'm talking about. Ready? Check this out. It's so late.
But the high end cuts through.
Yeah. It's so late. And then if you do. It's so late. Yeah.
Oh, dude. It's the off the grid. It's off
the grid
that we're talking about.
Yeah.
You're so good to be able to do that on the
Percussion
spot.
is everything. Everything in looping.
It
So
totally
many
is.
times people start they'll start with like that's such a it has to be right on. And and this is where I'm talking about simple stuff. Like none of those things that I just did, although they were in time, none of them were weirdly difficult. I didn't play a crazy riff. I didn't do. I did. Everybody could do that,
Right.
but it's making sure I did it in time.
Right.
You know.
This isn't to a click.
No.
You're never to a click.
No. You can be,
Oh.
and you can quantize it, but I don't like to quantize it.
Yeah.
'cause-
Ableton quantizes on the spot now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, but you can. You should be able to choose to take that off, though, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I don't. Like some people need it. Some people should have it, and some people like it.
Yeah.
But and I totally understand any of those.
Right.
But I know I've got a decent internal rhythm, and that's not the only reason I do it. It's because I choose to have things that are a little bit off. Like one of the hardest beats that I've ever done is like so like. So like the real push. Right? Like nobody can be deliberate on that. And then I also hide behind like sagging in solos because like I don't consider myself like I can hold my own on a guitar, but I don't consider myself like a shredder or anything. So like if I'm playing a like that's just all pentatonic stuff. So, and if you think, I always think about hats, like, where would the hats go? The hats aren't going to be, they're, right? So
Yeah, sure.
So this is a, you can't go, it sounds weird. But if you play a simple solo and deliberately go, if you play straight over a swung beat deliberately,
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
You could also just do the straight, like the swing. Like that's me. But if I'm going, but yeah, if you go like, That's all I got. So I trick people into thinking that I'm good by doing that.
You've done a fantastic job of, I guess that. No, but it's like the contrast of the square rhythms against the kind of Dilla, right? Like do you know Dilla? Jay Dilla? Jay Dilla was kind of the very first producer.
Dilla.
Dilla.
Oh, that's such a cool name.
Isn't that a cool name?
Dilla.
Yeah.
Like not like Diller would be the worst version of that name. like
You're
like
right.
I'm picturing two different people, and one's named Diller and one's named Dilla.
One's
And I
from
want to know
Australia,
Dilla. I don't want
one's
to know Diller.
Diller.
No offense if your name's Diller.
I'm sure there's great Dillers out there.
Yeah. I'm sure you're wonderful. I'm sure you make a fantastic pound cake.
But Dilla's thing was so the way I see it is like you have the spectrum of swing. So you have straight eighths, right? Very square. Mm-hmm. And then you have like very like Red Hot Chili Peppers, like the swung note is coming right before that last note.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh,
That's very
I know exactly what you're talking
Chad Smith, like very just like you're waiting for that last note to come in. Dilla's the opposite of waiting for the last moment. It's like where the and would be, it's just one like hiccup right after that. So what you're doing is pretty similar to that, is how I'm kind of hearing it.
Yep.
So if you have the Dilla kind of stuff where it's just like you're waiting for every last note to come in, and then you come in with like a square like pretty
if you throw
tried
something
and
on
true-
grid in it.
on
Yeah,
grid,
that's-
it's that contrast
Yeah.
that really like.
But you can only do that
yeah.
with one instrument, I think.
You think so?
You could sag with everything.
Oh,
So only one
I thought
instrument
you
can
meant-
be off. I mean,
Yeah.
like drums.
Yeah,
If
I
the
see what you're
drums
saying.
are on grid, every other instrument has to sag. The moment anybody rushes,
Right.
whoa, no.
totally.
Right? Or the moment every other instrument is on grid and one person sags,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Right.
Everything has to sag.
Right.
And then one instrument has to be on.
Everyone has to be
know.
locked in, and then one person has to wear the purple hat. The
Yeah.
weird.
And so many drummers, so many new drummers, and even still old drummers think, oh, I want to sag the beat. It's like, no, you're not the person that sags. Everybody else sags behind you. You're not the one that sags, because then you're forcing everybody to rush it. And then you actually remove groove out of it.
Yeah. There's a.
Spoken as a guy that isn't a drummer.
But you're right.
Well, I do drum, but yeah, I'm not yeah.
You totally drum, and your timing. If you're able to do that,
I drum on the looper.
Yeah, if you're able to do that,
Yeah.
if you're able to do that, it counts.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, there's a plugin out there that you'll put in. Let's say you put in a MIDI bass, a MIDI drums, and a MIDI guitar. You put in this plugin. I think it's called like Human or something. You put it on all those tracks, and it will do what we're talking about. It will bring the bass in the back, because it feels good when the bass is like kind of in the background and the guitar is like maybe a little bit ahead of that. So instead of things being right on the grid, this plugin will make things sound human by playing with the time, which is interesting.
Which you're specifying good human, not bad human.
Good human playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we want from human.
What?
Playing.
Give me that human sound.
All right. This song's called CMB. Or Catch My Breath in brackets. I always wanted a song that had 3 letters. So this is the one. There's no real reason. So there you go. But I haven't played it for a while. And I wrote this with Chase Flanders and Jen Bostic. It was a while ago, but I put it out right at the start of COVID, not knowing what was going to happen. So here we go. Let's get some reverb. Yeah.
wanna step back, looking at too many heights. I think it's time for an intervention. The weight on my chest that I get when I wanna turn left. I think it's time for a new direction. 6 feet tall, feeling small. I keep climbing, but the ladder gets higher. Burning up, I can't stay calm. I can't take another higher in the fire. I can't catch my breath. I've been running so long, but I got nothing left. I can't catch my breath. Jumping so high, even so high, I'm losing myself. Singing, I can't catch my breath. The faster I run, the further it gets. So I can't catch my breath. Stretching and then I can't win and I can't swim. Out in the middle of the ocean, a little more time, maybe you find a bottle of wine can make me feel a little less broken. 6 feet tall, feeling small. I keep climbing, but the ladder gets higher. Burning up, I can't stay calm. I can't take another high in the fire. I can't catch my breath. Been running so long. I got nothing left. I can't catch my breath. Jumping so high, jumping so high, I'm losing myself. Yeah. I can't catch my breath. The faster I run, the further it gets on. I can't catch my breath. The faster I run, the further it gets on. I can't catch my breath. The faster I run, further it gets on. I can't catch my breath. The faster I run, the further it gets on. Yeah, I can't catch my breath. I've been running so long, that I'm losing myself. I can't catch my breath. I've been jumping so high, jumping so high, that I'm losing myself. Yeah. Catch my breath. The faster I run, the further it gets on. I can't catch my breath. The faster I run, the further it gets on. I can't catch my breath. The faster I run, the further it gets on. I can't catch my breath. The faster I run, the further it gets.
Probably should have warmed up. The song's called A Million Times. I love this song so much. It's about finding the people you love, the things that you love, and the problems that you love to solve. And then just keeping those things as close as you can for as long as you can. I think happy thoughts. I think nothing but happy thoughts. Singing it. All right, here we go.
And I lost count of all the times I sat and wished that you were mine. But now you're standing here in front of me. I could get lost in the past with all the reasons I could list about how you and I were always meant to be. But I take a breath, take your hand, take your shoes off on the sand, and walk to feel the water but I'll fade. Look up to my surprise, the horizon in your eyes, and your eyes reflect forever back to me. There's a million little things about you I'd give anything, never be without you. If you like the way I kissed you just before, I'll do it all again 1,000,000 times on. While I have all your attention, we can choose our own adventure, turn it away up to 11, you and I. Baby, I'm no good at numbers, you don't ever have one. For the future, I've the down to multiply. There's a million little things about you I'd give anything to never be without you. If you like the way I kissed you just before, I'll do it all again 1,000,000 times or more. 1,000 times 1,000, shout it out. Hey! 1,000 times 1,000, love me now. Hey! 1,000 times 1,000, shout it out. Hey! 1,000 times 1,000, love me now. Hey! There's a million little things about you I'd give anything to never be without you. If you like the way I kissed you just before, I'll do it all again 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000 times more. There's a million little things about you I'd give anything to never be without you. If you like the way I kissed you just before, I'll do it all again 1,000,000 times more. 1,000,000 times or more. And I'll do it all again 1,000,000 times, all again 1,000,000 times, all again 1,000,000 times or more.
The live fade out. Yeah. And then we delete it forever.
That's right.
Cool. All right. I'd never play this song like this. It's always looped, but I'm going to do an acoustic version of it. I don't have a good enough reason to tell you that that's why I'm doing it, but I feel like I should do this. I guess there'd be a lot of listeners on this platform are going to be musicians and creative artists. And so I wrote this for myself and anybody else going through this. But the song's called Better. And it's about when you have the occupation that really is the best, right? I love my job so much, and not everybody loves their job, and in fact, most people don't. But I know I have a job that so many people are very envious of, and I feel like the downside of that is the parts of the industry that people don't understand, and how it ebbs and flows. And the problem is if you have a crappy day, a frustrating day, a really tough day or a week or a month or whatever, you don't feel like, or I didn't feel like I deserve to have that because I'm doing the job that is the job that I want to do, right? That's the most amazing job in the world that people would kill for. I'm doing this amazing job. I don't feel like I deserve to whine about it, even for one day. But I've decided that I do deserve to whine about it. And I feel like everybody deserves to have bad days. And I feel like the bad days are are always a way to be. In the darkness, you get to plant new seeds, and with yin as yang. So in the process of having bad days or negative waves, it allows for growth, and that's the way that I have to look at it, because otherwise I'd go insane. So this song's called Better, and it's about people going through that. Usually it's pretty upbeat, but I'm going to play a ballad version of it today.
Everybody needs a little. Staying up late, finding a way to solve their riddle. Somehow made me sacrifice the 2 years, changing everything to follow your lies, and just to realize I'm done wasting mine. Yeah, I'm done wasting mine. I'm tired of singing songs that I don't really feel. Send me anybody who wants something real, and I'll be a little bit better, little bit better. In time, I'll be a little bit better, little bit better. I'm done wasting. I'm done wasting. I'm done wasting mine. Everybody knows a little. Things work out the way they should, but we suppose that it'll somehow turn out not so good. I spend so much of my energy on tears that I cry until I realize I'm done wasting mine. Yeah, I'm done wasting mine. I'm tired of singing songs that I don't really feel. Send me anybody who wants something real, and I'll be a little bit better, little bit better. In time, I'll be a little bit better, a little bit better. 'Cause I'm done wasting. I'm done wasting. I'm done wasting. I'm done wasting. I'm done